I just bought a new house. My kid is obsessed with the crawl space. Part 3. What if something like that happens to my kid? Don't worry, Samantha said. I'm sure the house is fine and stuff. I just thought that you should know. Thanks, Samantha. I appreciate the honesty. We moved on to lighter topics until it was time for Samantha and Evan to go home for dinner. I went upstairs and found the two boys sitting in the crawl space together reading comics. It seemed a little cramped for the two of them, but they didn't seem to mind the tight space any. Evan pulled himself out, and Ryan promised to see him again at school. Later that night, I was getting ready for bed when I heard Ryan say something. "See, I told you you'd like him." There was a pause. "Oh, I'm glad you like me too," Ryan said. I decided to be cheeky and leaned down in front of where the crawl space was. "Yeah, you're both pretty all right kids." "Oh, hey Mom," Ryan said. "Get to bed, Ryan," I said. I heard Ryan shuffling on the other side of the wall. I turned off the lights and got in bed, and as I was drifting off, I had a thought. Why did Ryan sound surprised when I responded? The incident with the crawl space happened a week later. This'll sound strange, but I count myself lucky that I was out of work with a head cold when it happened. I was at home when I got a phone call from the school. "Hello, is this Ryan's mom?" a lady on the phone asked. "This is she," I said, my nose full of mucus. "Are you sitting down?" I stood up and began to pace. "Why do you ask?" "Okay, this'll be hard to explain, miss, but something's happened with Ryan." "What's wrong?" "He's gone missing. We need you to come in and discuss what's happened." My runny nose and cough were the furthest things from my mind. I got dressed and in my car in record time and drove like a madwoman over to the school. I stormed into the front office and gave the lady at the front desk a bit of a scare when I slammed my hand on her desk while she was working on her computer. "I'm Ryan's mother," I said as best as I could with my stuffy nose. "Oh yes, right this way, ma'am," she said. She got up and unlocked a door behind her, which led to what seemed to be the administrative area of the school. I followed her down a long hallway until we got to the door to the principal's office. She knocked on the door. "Ryan's mother is here," she said. The door opened from the inside, revealing the principal. He was an older gentleman, about 60 years old, with salt and pepper hair. "Hello, ma'am. I'm Principal Thorne," he said, holding out his hand for me to shake. "I'm sorry we're meeting like this." I shook his hand and stepped into the office. Inside, there was also a security guard, a heavy-set man with a large beard who was holding a laptop. I took a seat across the principal's desk and he sat behind it. "First of all, ma'am," he said, "I'm terribly sorry about what's happened." "Where's Ryan?" I said curtly. "Well, that's what we're trying to figure out, but there are some strange circumstances involved." "What do you mean?" "Ferguson, if you could," Thorne said, gesturing at the security guard. The security guard set his laptop down on the desk, opened it, and navigated his way through a few menus until he was in some kind of app that was connected through the school's security cameras. "Okay, so here's what we know," Ferguson said. "Around 3 hours ago, at 12:30, Ryan is in his math class with Miss Hayward." He enlarged one of the cameras. It showed a classroom full of young kids. I could see Ryan sitting right in the middle of them. A young woman drew shapes on a white board, trying to explain polygons or something like that. The timestamp showed that this footage was indeed from 12:30 that day. Now Ryan asked to go to the restroom and Miss Hayward gave him permission. Sure enough, Ryan raised his hand. He and the teacher spoke for a bit, and then the teacher gave him a little hall pass and he left the classroom. Ferguson then swapped to another camera showing the hall outside the classroom. Ryan walked outside and strolled down the hall for a bit until he found the restroom. Ferguson switched to another camera, this one closer to the restroom entrance, which clearly showed Ryan walking inside. Ferguson then hit fast forward on the video, skipping past 5 minutes. Now, since Ryan took so long, Miss Hayward sent another kid to go and see what was wrong. Ferguson explained. Sure enough, the footage showed another kid walking into the restroom. He stayed in there for about a minute before running back to the classroom. According to that kid, Ferguson explained, Ryan wasn't inside of the restroom. Miss Hayward contacted me and the other security officers and we began searching the school. He switched between various angles, which showed him and a few other men in uniform checking classrooms and the halls for any sign of Ryan.